podcast.
What's up, guys? Joey Bag of Donuts here from the How You Living podcast. We got Blake today, sponsored skater from Funk Sports Shop. How you living, my man?
I'm living great. How are you living?
I am doing fantastic today. Ready for this episode and excited. So let's get to know you a little bit more. What state are you from, and how and why did you move to Florida?
I am from the flat state of Kansas. Grew up there, moved to San Diego, California, lived there for about 15-something years, and moved back to Kansas for about 4 years, and then just moved out here about a year and a half ago.
What do you like about Florida right now?
I'm a big animal fan. I love to do outdoor stuff, and there's just so much to do here. Me and my wife we've got Disney passes, so we're going to Disney all the time, going on roller coasters and stuff. Yeah, dude, it's awesome. There's just so much to do out here. Go see gators, go paddleboarding through the jungle and stuff like that. The springs, it's awesome.
So you have a unique style of skating. How would you describe it and why it fits you?
I mean, I've always done my weird shove-its and hippie jumps. Recently, how I describe it, TJ, shout out Kooktown Skateboards, TJ called a trick he was trying a circus trick, and I've just completely taken that word. That I just say my bag of tricks is a bunch of circus tricks.
What's your favorite trick you do right now?
I mean, my favorite just all-time trick is just going to be a 360 shove on flat ground.
You do have some pretty tight 360 shoves.
I just whirlwind that thing around. Helicopter.
If you had to pick wherever in your career of skateboarding, what's your favorite skate park and favorite spot to skate, or that you have skated?
So I've gotten to skate, usually if I'm traveling, I'm going to bring my board. I've gotten to skate some really sick parks. I've been to Woodward. I know a lot of kids just gone up to Woodward. I went to the Woodward West one. So, I mean, that doesn't even really count because that's 20 skate parks in one location.
Right.
One of the best skate parks, I don't know if I'm going to say it right, like Arvada, I think is what it's called. It's outside of Denver. They just had this big Thrasher event there. Okay. It's actually Team Payne that built it. It's basically like 3 parks all in one. It's one of the sickest parks. There's definitely like dreams parks that I want to get to. I want to get down to Lot 11 in Miami. Same. That looks really sick. And then Spot.
You haven't skated Spot?
No. I've been to Tampa. I've been to Tampa. Cool. No, but you said favorite skate spot. So my wife studied abroad in Barcelona. So yeah,
sweet.
So I got to go to MACBA.
Oh my god!
I broke my board pretty quickly into being there. There's that big like
3 block.
Is it a 3? It's either a 3 block or 4 block.
Yeah, it's a big.
And like I was like, oh, I'm gonna ollie that, and like broke my board or whatever. There was like a skate shop close by, so I went and grabbed another board.
Okay, let's do this then. So you mentioned dream skate spots.
Mm-hmm.
What are your top 3 skate spots that you want to go to?
So I'll say for a spot. So me and my buddy lives in Brooklyn, and I didn't get to skate the Brooklyn Banks, which I know they just like reopened and stuff like that. And I think they're still working on it, making it bigger and stuff. I know you and Danny actually talked about this recently on the podcast.
Right.
I'm a fan, I guess. I listen to the pod.
Dude, that's what we do this for.
But you guys talked about Love Park. Unfortunately, got destroyed. I knew you guys were talking about it and stuff like that. That would have been obviously really cool. It's super smooth ground. There's some shit that pops up. Am I allowed to cuss? No.
Yeah,
okay.
Of course.
There's some shit that pops up on my Instagram, and it'll be like it looks like art. And I'll click on it, like the thumbnail or whatever. I'm like, oh, where's this? And it'll be like Hamburg, Germany, or like Austria or something like that. There's so many cool parks that are popping up in like different countries and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, there's some cool stuff where you see it and it's like the Swiss Alps are behind it. Like,
right. Yeah, I watch a lot of Johnny Geiger.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
He skates like the part that he skates doesn't look that cool, but it's like a screensaver behind him. It's insane.
It's crazy. 1, watching him skate, and 2, like being jealous of like, yeah, we got palm trees and stuff like that down here.
Yeah.
But like you said, you click on a thumbnail and it's like it's an art piece behind them, and it's like, how and why do you get to skate this all the time?
Another cool spot would be like, I think there's like the most skate parks per capita or something is like the Pacific Northwest, like Oregon and Washington.
Oh, yeah.
That would be sick to like go do a skate trip and just hit a bunch of parks up in there. That'd be really sick.
You're making me add things to my bucket list. So speaking of skating, we're gonna talk a little bit about Funks.
Okay.
All right. So you're a
He's the
sponsored.
man right here.
So now you're a sponsored skater at Funks.
Yes.
How did that come to be? How did that happen?
Dude, I mean, I'm 31 years old, just turned 31. I had given up on any sponsored anything like that, and I came to Florida from Kansas City, and just kind of like shout out right here, Central Florida Skate Park, CFL. I showed up at CFL. I actually followed them on Instagram before even moving here, and I was just like, that looks like a fun park in Kansas City. Shout out Studio. They were my like local park that I would go to, an indoor park and stuff like that. It's just like I love the communities and stuff. And in Florida, I just fell in love with the community, the events and stuff like that. Funk. I was kind of confused when they first popped up because there wasn't a shop yet, but there was like the Instagram and all that stuff. So I was kind of confused what was going on there. Got to meet Funk at CFL. I believe it was that. And then he had the opening. We had kind of talked and stuff like that. And he just kind of started tagging me and stuff. And I was like, what's going on? Am I like, do you want me to ride for you? I didn't know what the situation kind of was and stuff. Right. And he's a kind of, when we were talking about circus tricks and stuff, he does the no complies. He's a curb killer. And just him seeing me do my kind of creative stuff, because I'm not gonna hard flip onto a hubba. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
like
yeah.
I just don't do that
no
stuff.
Hard flip backtails for Blake.
Exactly. I gave up on all that years ago and just do what I find fun in skateboarding and stuff like that. And I think that was going to be a great addition to his team.
Awesome. So everyone wants to be sponsored. That's, I think, the most
it's
famous term
the dream. It's the dream
in skateboarding is sponsor me. So being sponsored, what's expected of you?
I guess it's still the same, just repping the shop. I mean, he's like a local shop and stuff like that. So I mean, I wear these hats. I've got every single color. He's about to get some new colors. Go check them out. I don't know. I wear it. I've always been a big like repper of anything, whether it's a sandwich shop I love. Same. Just promote. Like I've worked in restaurant industries. I've worked in different things. And I know how hard it is out there. Yeah. And just to have we've got some sick riders on our team, and just to have them show the other younger kids kind of what's cool and kind of build up. We've got like a B team now, so we're kind of building up the next generation, stuff like that. I mean, I think me personally, I've passed like I'm one of the older guys on the team and stuff like that, and you got these young kids that are killing it, and just to kind of rep the brand and all that kind of stuff. How
do you balance work and skating?
Work, there's always that love what you do kind of thing or whatever and stuff. I don't love what I do, but I have a sick job where, I mean, I used to work in restaurants, got fired during COVID, lost my job and stuff like that. There were no restaurants. And my wife's a recruiter, recruited me to this cyber security company where I get to wake up, grab my laptop and just work from home. And as soon as I'm done, I'm out there skating and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, in terms of work-life balance, she works from home, so we're at the dining room table together working sometimes.
That's
and
cool.
Yeah, it's cats. We got cats, so our cats are walking across our laptops while we're on Zoom calls and stuff like that.
Honestly, a lot of people don't think that's the dream, but that is the dream.
Yeah, I mean, no, the work from home thing is definitely,
especially being able to work with your wife.
Yeah, like, exactly.
Because we just started the business too, so it's like it's hard for us, for me being, because I'm about to start traveling with my job.
Okay.
That's why I was like, this is a really good question, because like it's a very intimate question.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And we don't really get into that as much on here, but I was like, you know what? We're going to switch it up a little bit.
No, the start of COVID was crazy because like neither of us, now we've like moved a couple times and we're like, okay, we know she needs we both basically need separate bedrooms for offices for like work from home and stuff. But at first we just literally had the dining room table. We had our computers back to back. We're throwing grapes in each other's mouths and stuff like that. It was awesome.
That's awesome. That's amazing. So last question about Funks.
Okay.
What are the rules, if you have any, do you have at the shop?
I mean, Funk's like a professional filmer on in his real job. So
Right.
like, I mean, even just right now, me and him are fooling around, and all of a sudden he got one of his tricks, and he just sat there and he just started filming me. I'm like, yo, we're skating, just skate with me.
Right.
But he just wants to be behind that camera. If he's in front of the camera, I've messed around. He's got this like pole with one of these 3D camera, or not 3D, what 360 cameras, which is crazy because it helps me because I'm not having to angle anything special. I just follow him with this stick. But it's funny because like when I'm filming him, he's like talking about his trick, and I'm like trying to like get a cool like blade of grass in the shot and then turn it over and stuff like that. With social media and stuff, I know Danny, who has been on the pod, he's done some edits and stuff. He's big with the social media and stuff like that. So he's done some YouTube edits, which have been amazing.
Yeah, the YouTube video you guys dropped was it was really good. We actually pulled some still shots from that.
Okay, sick.
For some promos that
yeah. No, it was crazy. I'm the thumbnail, like that was, which helped because I sent it to 1,000 people because just to try to get the views and stuff like that. Everybody I know, I'm like, check me out, I'm sponsored. But I think it helped them because it was like, oh look, Blake's the thumbnail, like I'll click it kind of thing.
Sweet. So we're gonna switch a little bit into a different direction now. So getting into hobbies, we kind of touched on it a little bit in the intro. Animals.
Oh yeah.
What are some that intrigue you the most, and why?
I think, I mean, I'm Scatosaurus Rex, so I've loved dinosaurs since I was a little kid. So I mean, 1,000% it's gonna be reptiles. Like I've got 2 bearded dragons at home. They have terrarium cages things, but literally right now one of them's on, we've got 3 floors in our apartment thing. One of them's running around one floor, the other one's running around the other floor. They just kind of roam loose with the cats and stuff like that. I mean, during the night or when we're gone and stuff, we put them in their cages. But I just always loved, I mean, that's what's so cool about Florida. It's like you can just go down the street and there's freaking 6-foot gator and stuff that. It's so sick.
We call them backyard dogs.
But yeah, like I've grown up, I mean, I'd say grown up, but I'm still watching Animal Planet videos, BBC, like the Planet Earth kind of videos and stuff. So it's just to have that in your backyard is just amazing. That's insane. Another, I mean, animal, we don't have to go too far into the animals, but what I've kind of gotten into coming here is birds. Like you guys, I don't think you understand. You got like flamingos and spoonbills and crazy ass birds that they don't have at bald eagles. Like that in Kansas, we got squirrels and rabbits. Like that's deer.
I mean, we have those too.
Yeah, exactly. The gators and shit are eating them, but yeah, or the pythons or whatever. That's what I need to get down to is the Everglades. That's something I really need to get down and
I haven't been there since, because growing up here, you go on a field trip to the Everglades.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think it's like 5th grade or something.
That's sick.
And you do a mud walk.
Oh, like
oh yeah, trash bags and everything.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's and you get to see all the crazy like birds, gators, snakes that are chilling in trees.
Yeah.
All kinds of stuff like that.
I love it. Oh, and I have a ball python.
I was gonna ask.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask. You have bearded dragons.
I got
he's a python.
There's like different morphs of ball python. He's a blue-eyed leucistic, so he's all white with blue eyes.
That's sick.
His name's Alfredo because he's a big white.
That's even sicker.
A big white noodle.
That's even.
Yeah, we call him Dodo.
Dodo.
Yeah. So and reptiles are also super easy to take care of. Like, you can kind of just let them sit and stuff, feed them every once in a while.
This is my question because there's a mixed consensus on this.
Mm-hmm.
Do they like?
Oh no, I know what you're gonna ask. Do they love me?
Do they love you? You already know.
I don't know, dude. I think they appreciate me. I don't think the snake.
I was gonna ask. Is it more of a toleration?
Yeah. So. But we've rescued 3 bearded dragons. Rest in peace, Jaws. He was clipped by a car. They found him in the street and got ran over, broke his jaw. One of my family friends was like, "Oh, you like animals? Here, take this hurt lizard or whatever." He lost his eye, and we took him to the vet. The vet was like, "Don't get too attached." And basically, he lived for about 7 years after that. Just passed away like a year or 2 ago. Then. Lola was kind of given to us from a family friend who didn't want him anymore, and then Rex, or what's his name, Rocky, sorry. Rex was the old one. But yeah, Rocky, my dad literally found in a yard in Kansas, and we took him. He's a little less tolerant when you're talking about tolerant or whatever.
Yeah.
He's still very kind of sketched out. I don't know how long he was in the wild and stuff like that. I mean, he wouldn't have made it in Kansas. It snows there. Like these are Australian lizards and stuff. The first one I ever had, like he would sleep in bed with me and stuff like that. Like they snuggle you and stuff. I think it just kind of depends on. It's just like people. There's nice people. There's not nice people kind of situation.
I think that's why I like reptiles, because like you said, they're either gonna. They're like people, and they're good judges of character.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they're either gonna like.
I mean, that's all animals for sure. Yeah, they have that sense and stuff like that. I always say, like, I'm gonna get, if my kid's like, oh, I want a puppy, like, you're gonna get a bearded dragon. See if you can have the responsibility, take care of it, because it's so much easier than like a dog or something like that.
Walk it and everything. So, being a fellow hiker.
Oh yeah.
What are some of your favorite trails around Florida?
Dude, I always say my happy place, there's Orlando Wetlands, it's like 45 minutes from here. It's like Jurassic Park. I mean, I went there, the first time I went there, I was the only one there. It was just after a rain, so I think all like the bird watchers and stuff had left for the day. And I was like FaceTiming my wife. I'm like, they don't let you get this close to the gators at Gatorland. And she's like, there's a reason for that. But no, dude, I want to be a like nature photographer and stuff like that. Those cameras cost so much money, but I've gotten some insane shots just on my iPhone, just of these sick gators swimming, and there's this path that goes over the water, so the gators will swim underneath you and stuff like that. Other than that, I mean, I hate to say this, Florida's so flat that it's like hard to even say you're going for a hike.
Right. It's like I'm gonna go walk on the trail.
Me and my wife did Black Bear Wilderness Trail. It's like a 7-mile kind of loop. Okay. It had just rained that morning. I'm surprised. She's not a big. She's definitely gotten more into nature, being here and stuff like that. And there's a reason it's called Black Bear Wilderness Trail. We're on this trail, and there's these huge shits with like berries and shit in them. Like, it's clearly bear shit. And she's starting to freak out, and I'm like, no, that's not bear shit. Like, no, we're good or whatever. We keep walking. Luckily, we didn't see anything. I'm behind her Googling, like, can black bears attack people and stuff like that. Trying not to get killed out there.
We were talking about anime a little bit before we started. What's an anime that you think did better as a live action?
As a live action? Okay. I don't know if this is better, but there's this Yu Yu Hakusho. They just did like the first season. I think it was only like 5 episodes, but I think they're like an hour long on Netflix. It is some of the coolest CGI. Like, I almost just want to show people just the fight scenes. Okay. I don't think anyone watched it or talked about it or whatever, but like, it's some of the coolest action. It's like grotesque because there's like, I don't know, like demons and stuff like that. But it is some of the coolest action. Other than that, I think the reason the third party asked you this or had you ask this question is because anime is better in animation than live action.
So which anime intro is your favorite?
Intro, I actually have a playlist on Spotify where it's music from anime. And it's like none of it's in English and stuff. God, that's a good question. Because it's like each season they change it up and stuff like that. I hate to say this, and I know like anime fans might come after me for this, but like first episode, I listen to the intro, listen to the outro, and most of the time next up, like for the rest of it, I'll skip through it. And then the finale or whatever, I'll listen to it one more time and listen to it again. For some reason, I'm thinking of like a One Piece one right now. But then again, it's like every season they're changing it up. Different.
If you could be the main character of an anime,
oh gosh,
what would the anime be about?
Oh, okay.
And who would you be?
I don't know, like some kind of like, I'm like Steve Irwin, back to the animal stuff. Let's do like I'm Steve Irwin, but it's like a fantasy world where there's crazy creatures and stuff, and it's like a nature biography, or like, what do you call it, like a docu-series kind of nature thing. But I'm out hunting, like not hunting to kill, but like finding rare weird dragon monster creatures. I don't know.
I would watch that.
Yeah.
I would for sure watch that. That would be an anime I watch. We actually we're watching Delicious in Dungeon.
Oh, okay, yeah, I watched that.
Hell
yeah.
I like walked in, I'm like, what?
No, see, that's
What
like
is this?
That's like a good example of like creative. It's like a different take. It's not just your normal fantasy kind of thing.
And I sat down and watched the entire thing.
Yeah.
A lot of, for me, I know, is like fantasy. I love fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
So like stuff like that, like you said, the Steve Irwin type of character, like finding these extravagant dragons.
Because you've seen fantasy where they're going through dungeons and stuff, but you never thought, what are they eating while they're down there?
Right, exactly. All right, so now we're going to go to a staple part of our podcast.
Okay.
This or that. Now, you can elaborate if you want to.
Okay.
You do not have to.
Okay.
It's basically like it sounds, this or that. Dexter's Lab or Kids Next Door?
Kid Next Door is there's like the numbered.
They were like numbered, like number.
I'm
one,
gonna have to go Dexter's Lab if I'm asking the question.
Dexter's Lab. Okay, ramen or pho?
Oh, pho. Yeah, for sure. I've tried ramen. I had obviously eaten like cup of noodle and stuff, but
Right.
I haven't actually delved into like real ramen yet. So yeah, pho for sure.
80s or 90s music?
I was born in 1993, so like anything around that time that's like probably, I don't know which one's 80s, which one's 90s. I'm gonna say like 80s, like techno, like pump up the jam kind of stuff like that. That's what, like, when me and Funk are doing some 7 a.m. sessions, that's the kind of music I'm playing.
Hell yeah.
Wake me up.
All right, you ready for this one? Curb or flat bar?
I'll just say rail, or like a flat bar.
Like
I'll just say flat bar. Curbs are harder to skate than a
They
lot of people
are, dude.
realize. They're low to the ground and stuff like that, but to like get the slappies and stuff like that, it's a lot harder.
It's definitely a skill.
If it's like a painted super long curb, that might be like a down something. You just get on that and just ride and ride and ride. Yeah.
Cartoons or sitcom?
Animated, like whether it's Family Guy. I grew up on cartoons and stuff and became an adult and still watch anime and Family Guy and all that kind of stuff.
Road trip or plane ride?
Oh, road trip. Yeah, I hate planes. I'm too big. I'm too big.
I didn't even think about that.
It's just also like, I feel like when you get in an airport, everybody's stressed out, and it's all that bad vibes. Like you just feel
stress.
Yeah, exactly. And road trips, you're listening to podcasts, you're telling stories, jokes, looking out the window and stuff like that. I feel like I've bonded with my wife with other people through road trips for sure.
So this is the last part of our podcast.
Okay.
I ask a question based on community, because that's what we're huge about here. What is something that you see that is good, and what is something that you want to see more of in the future?
I think what's cool about Orlando, Orlando's such a big city, but it's also like the skate community is so not close knit. I don't know what there is a community here. Like in San Diego, there's so many skaters, and it's so spread out that you got skaters over here, you got skaters over here. Like maybe they kind of know it, there's a mutual or whatever, but it feels like here it's like one big bubble and not as much like separate kind of Venn diagrams. And like Go Skate Day, it's crazy. Like I've been here for a year. The first Go Skate Day, I was like nervous. I didn't know. I knew Jeff at CFL and stuff like that, but other than that, I was kind of like, I don't know any of these people. Here, it was like I was there for 20 minutes and I said hi to 30 people. Like it's just cool. The community is so accepting, and like I've never seen you before, let's skate or whatever. Like I've just met so many people, so that's been really cool. There's certain people that have, I don't know if it's issues or they just don't like CFL, and I wish people because having an indoor park in the rainiest state
Yeah.
is so important. And there's people out there that there's something that, whether it's the design of the park that they don't like, or there's too many little kids or rollerbladers or scooters or whatever it is, it's like, who cares? Like, I just wish people were more accepting of all that kind of stuff, and just, I don't know. I just want CFL to be there forever, kind of thing. And
Right.
that's the only thing I can think of.
I was talking to his wife.
Yeah,
Jeff's
Becca.
wife, Becca, and they were like, "Yeah, we opened this during the pandemic because he wanted to open up some kind of business."
Yeah.
And he was like, "But what about an indoor skate park?"
Yeah.
Because the last one we had, me growing up here, the last one we had was actually Chad's skate park from Mr. B's. It was Mesh and Mission Skate Park.
Okay,
It was like the last.
I've heard of the
skate park.
Metro. That was
Metro. I guess Metro was a park there, but that one was.
And then there was like a Vans one.
That one was almost unskateable.
Oh, okay.
Like, Vans hasn't been around for a while now.
Yeah.
Like 13 years.
But I hear it's still there.
It's still there.
That's insane.
Like people jump the fence.
That's what I've heard. Yeah.
An outdoor park.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
But
yeah, I mean, I just think Jeff and Becca, they care so much about the skating and stuff like that, and they want to support the community. I mean, that if it wasn't for them and the events they hold, I don't know if I'd meet Funk and some of the people I've met and stuff like that. Like, that's what's just, it's so cool, is that the events and little contests, best tricks and stuff like that. And I think they're bringing in the next generation of these younger kids that are going to be little shredders. Emmett and stuff like that. His son is just insane.
Yeah.
Taylor, the daughter. Yeah.
Well, it's been amazing having you on the podcast.
I appreciate it. This has been fun.
Yeah, man, this has been really fun. Actually, one of the most fun I've actually had, because we had a little bit of diversity.
Yeah.
A little bit more diversity than we usually it's just skating. But I wanted to switch it up a little bit, get to more on a personal level. Thank you guys for tuning in this week. This is Joey Bag of Donuts signing off for the Highly Living Podcast.